Mr. Prime Minister, colleagues and friends, I would like first of all to thank the organizers for the honor of being invited to speak at the inauguration session of the Presidential Club of Innovations. I represent here the United Nations Economic Commission for Europe, which is one of the 5 UN regional commissions whose mission is to promote economic development, including knowledge-based development, and integration in Europe and Eurasia. Next slide, please. I was invited to present to this session of the club some preliminary conclusions from the Innovation Performance Review of Kazakhstan that the United Nations Economic Commission for Europe undertook this year together with the government of Kazakhstan. And Mr. President, I would like to apologize for the fact that you will have to hear the report on the SAFE project for the second time in 2 days. The Innovation Performance Review of Kazakhstan takes a critical look. It provides an assessment of the national innovation system of Kazakhstan with a view to drawing recommendations for enhancing the innovation capacity of the country, for speeding up the innovation process, and for making the system more efficient. The review is in principle an independent external assessment undertaken by a group of international experts mobilized by our organization, the UNECE. However, at all stages, we have worked closely with the government, with national experts, with a view to reaching common understanding of the problems and joint ownership of the results of the project. And I have to say that we enjoyed excellent cooperation with our main partner in Kazakhstan, the National Innovation Fund, its managers and experts, with whom we worked very closely during several months. Also, we enjoyed excellent cooperation with several dozens of institutions and organizations in Kazakhstan and their experts. And last week, there was a high-profile international expert discussion of some of the main preliminary conclusions and findings of the review in Geneva, with the participation of both international and national experts. And we will now turn towards the finalization of the project into a United Nations publication. Next slide, please. A brief presentation as mine cannot provide an opportunity to present the findings of the review in detail, and this is why I have selected only a couple of highlights of this project. I would like to underline that we use a systemic approach in our assessment. Innovation in the modern economy results from the interactions of many actors and agents in this process, and our conceptual framework in our analysis is the national innovation system. So this is the start also of our work in the project. The national innovation system includes all entities that affect the innovation process, the public bodies, academic and research institutions, firms, banks, other financial institutions, and so on, as well as the links and interactions between them. Why I'm showing this simplified picture? This is a very rough, simplified picture of how we assess the national innovation system in Kazakhstan at present. Next slide, please. And the next picture tries to present our view of how we think the system should look in the future. So if you could switch back to the previous slide and forward again. So what we see as the need to do in Kazakhstan is to ensure more connectivity in the system, to create more links in the system, and to establish vibrant interactions between its actors. I would like to point out that this is not at all a criticism. We were actually very surprised by how much Kazakhstan has achieved during such a short period of time. And this appreciated is reflected in the review. This comparison between present and desired future just indicates where we think the government should concentrate its future policy efforts. Next slide, please. Again, I will only highlight some main findings. So here I shall focus on the strengths as we have identified and as they are highlighted in our project. Innovation, of course, is a policy priority at the highest level of national strategy and policy. And this is a key factor of success, and we are aware of the great importance assigned to innovation also by His Excellency President Nazarbayev. And the inauguration of the Presidential Club of Innovation is another piece of evidence to this attention, and we wish much success to this endeavor. These achievements are well documented in our report. We also acknowledge that the main building blocks of the national innovation system have been put in place in the country, which is a great achievement for such a short period, and also the fact that the government allocates sufficient resources to the promotion of innovation. Next slide, please. However, while we acknowledge the great achievements of Kazakhstan in promoting innovation, we think that the practical value of a project like ours is to provide policy recommendations how to make the innovation process more intensive and more effective in generating more innovation and bringing them to the market. So, in this context, the review contains a range of policy recommendations which were the main focus of the discussions that we held in Geneva last week. So, again, in my presentation, I have only selected to outline some of which are relevant to the systemic nature of innovation. Next slide, please. So, one set of recommendations concerns what I mentioned, the connectivity and interactions within the national innovation system. Ensuring good connectivity among the actors, the elements, and vibrant interactions should be a main focus of future policy efforts. The strengthening of the linkages among stakeholders across sectors and regions will contribute also to a greater efficiency of the national innovation system and its institutions. And our review provides a concrete policy recommendations to this effect. Another cluster of recommendations is related to innovative entrepreneurship, which can play a greater role as a driver of innovation. So we point out that policy needs to pay a special focus to helping inventors become successful entrepreneurs, helping them to transform their ideas into marketable products. This will also support the emergence of more new technology-based firms. And again, we provide a range of concrete policy recommendations to this effect. And the third set of recommendations is related to the role of market demand for innovation. The innovation process will only be sustainable if it is supported by both supply and demand side. And the functioning of the national innovation system can be boosted by the strengthening of the demand side. This can be achieved through policy measures such as public procurement, regulation, standardization, lead market initiatives, and other which are discussed in the review. Such measures should target both public demand but also private demand, because well-functioning demand-side chain links and chains will contribute to more innovation and will also contribute to the strengthening of connectivity and linkages. We, as a United Nations body, are ready to continue to work together with the authorities in Kazakhstan towards the practical implementation of the recommendations of the Innovation Performance Review of Kazakhstan, and we have actually already started such consultations with the National Innovation Fund. Thank you.